of the 70% that is the water that is on the earth, just 3% of that is fresh water. So it's very limited resources. Yeah. But people, the way we are behaving and the way we're using water doesn't reflect that. So this unit really is to bring that point home, to say you harvest the water that you are using at the household level and try to use it as many times as possible. So the prototype here takes the dirty water, as you can see there, brings it to this point, then it is filtered in this filtration unit, so it's a 4-stage filtration point. And then it brings back here as clean water, then it brings back to the house. So we've just put an aquaponic tube here. The idea is to drive, so aquaponics, that is your garden irrigation. This is, you can do aquaculture, so fish farming. You can do laundry, flushing, car wash and all of that. So it's a bit more responsible. So we can use this system to recycle the water as many times as possible. Then if we add on chlorine, it becomes even more fresh every time that you recycle it. So the idea really is to beat hunger, beat the drought, beat the whole issue of food security, at the household level. And I'm sure this is an issue that is pertinent when it comes to Bulawayo as a city as well. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions.
I wanted to find out, I know it's still at prototype level. Is it still at this stage, or you started?
Yeah, we have started manufacturing. So there is no standard product to say, because it differs from one house to the other. So what it means is we are remodifying your plumbing at the house level. It means that instead of that water going into the septic tank, we'll have to reconnect those pipes. Only fresh water will be left to run, but the rest of the other, what we call this bathing water, from laundry, from all of that, is collected into a container. So that's why I was saying we can't have one standard. It depends now how big is the place, how far is the house from the mains, and all of that.
So if I wanted to put something like this in a household, what kind of cost am I looking at?
Yeah, so for 200 liters, we're looking about $380. For 1,000 liters, you're looking about $550. So this comes with the solar system, as you can see here. So the idea is to be fully autonomous. So you don't have to wait for electricity, because we know that electricity can also be an issue. So this is a solar-powered prototype. It's a solar-powered unit which can run, independently and autonomously.
Yeah. Where are you guys located?
So we are in Harare, but we're looking specifically for this project, we're looking to anchor more here in Bulawayo because of the unique water circumstances that is in Bulawayo.
Have you tried this in Harare?
They say I have it in my house.
You have it in your house?
Yeah, I have it in my house.
How long have you had it at your house?
I think 6 months now. Yeah, it's working well.
It's a practical.
It's a practical solution.
And sustainable solution.
Yeah.
And what is the community saying? The do's and don'ts of this?
Yeah, it comes back to affordability really, but the desire is there. But we have to look at how we can tie productivity to this. Yes. Because if you can harvest 200 liters every other day, it means you can run a decent, home-based agriculture thing that you can then start reselling vegetables and all of that. So if we sell more of that, then people will see that, okay, from this I can make money as well. At the same time, I'm saving the household water.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I've seen this in Zimbabwe, but not this way. But
yeah, no, this is existing already. This is aquaponics. Yeah, so this is irrigation using water, just for water only. Yeah.
It's a good idea. Thank you very much.
Sure, thanks to you. Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Maybe tell us about the work that you do at the Swedish Embassy.
Sure. So Zimbabwe is one of our major partner countries when it comes to development cooperation. And we've been in Zimbabwe since independence in 1980. And even before that, there were a lot of Swedish missionaries throughout the years. So ever since independence, we have had a very strong development cooperation partnership with Zimbabwe. And currently we give grants amounting to approximately 30 million USD a year, which makes us the third biggest donor in Zimbabwe after the US and the UK. And in particular, we focus on 3 thematic core areas in Zimbabwe. One of them being human rights and governance, the other being gender equality and sexual and reproductive health rights, and then the final one being climate resilience and inclusive economic development, and which is an example that we see here. And since we know water is a scarcity here, and so obviously this is something that we really close to us.
Okay, so let's talk more about the climate change issue and how it has affected countries like Zimbabwe. Maybe tell us more in terms of the projects that you are embarking on or you're supporting in this country.
Sure. There are many projects. I might not remember all of them by heart, but I know, for instance, we have one up in near Kariba Dam, where it's also like severe droughts, where we had built pipelines basically taking water from the rivers up to the villages, and also like in a way, because what climate change also impacts especially in countries like Zimbabwe, is like the human versus wildlife conflicts in a way, because the water is scarce and the animals need water as well, and in order to reduce conflicts, you need to find new ways of how to acquire water in a way. So there, for instance, we have partnered with another Danish partner, and so there we have built use chili fences in a way to stave elephants off from the villages in order to give the villagers free access to the source of water in the village. And besides that, we also work a lot with climate resilient agriculture, and for instance, working how can we work with other kind of crops than maize, which is the traditional staple here in Zimbabwe, because maize is not the most resilient one in terms of climate shocks than millet or sorghum, and others might be more beneficial. So we have a project involving that. And we also work with waste management. That's not necessarily directly affecting comparing to climate change, but still, it's still part of the entire spectrum in a way. And we know Zimbabwe has a lot of issues with landfills, and that's also something that we're currently trying to look into more.
Maybe let's talk more about the innovations, especially the household water recycling units that you're exhibiting at this year's International Trade Fair. Maybe let's speak more to that in terms of your support for such kind of innovations and how they are assisting communities where you are working in.
Our aim, has always been in a way to empower communities to make them sustain themselves, because that's the only long-term. That can be the only end game in a way, right? The end game can never be to continue providing aid, and this kind of innovation is a great idea, because it also involves reinvigoration of the private sector, and if we can engage the private sector and combating climate change, for instance, when coming up with smart solutions which are good for the environment and also enable entrepreneurs like Tawanda here to make money, for instance. That's the best of both worlds. So that's what we're trying to do as well, enable private entrepreneurs who have great innovations we support them in the infancy stage of their operations, and in the hopes of that eventually they will be able to sustain themselves, simply because their business idea is good. It's good for the planet, it's good for people, and it's good for their own wallet in a way. So for instance, today we had this innovation, and yesterday we had a fantastic microfinance institution here who works with selling small solar panels to charge phones and LED lighting so kids can do their homework. And they do it like a microfinancing solution, so families can pay, instead of having to face an upfront cost of $300, they pay a monthly cost of $12, and which is a huge difference, obviously. So that's really what we're looking into, and not only in Zimbabwe, but throughout the entire sub-Saharan Africa in a way.
But so what kind of support do you offer them? Do you offer them money, or you offer them technical support to come up with such innovations?
It's mostly financial support, but also what we do, for instance, with this institution, this company, and the one that we had here yesterday with solar panels, is we don't give money directly to them. We give money to another organization which can provide both the financing and the technical assistance, and that's a way also to actually leverage the financing to get as much output as possible from the money that we invest.
Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Tawanda Mushawedu. I'm the founder and CEO of a social enterprise, that for-profit social enterprise called Regain 37 Private Limited. So we are here today showcasing our new technology, or rather a new lifestyle, because the technology is already existing, but the process is not really maybe understood and bought. So that's what we have come up with the prototype that we have today.
Okay. So the household water recycling unit, what does it do, and how can maybe just take us through the product that you're offering today?
Yeah. So the JV household recycling unit, I named it after my mom. She's late. Her name is Joyce Vilika. So she looked after us children very well. So it's in the same essence of how we're supposed to manage water today, with a plethora of issues at the global level, at the national level. We have a serious water problem. Water security is a big issue. The drought is a big issue. Food security is a big issue because of the lack of water. Even generating electricity is a big issue because of the lack of water. As you can imagine, 70% of the earth is occupied by water, but just 3% of that 70% is fresh water. So it means it's a very scarce resource. But sometimes the way as human beings we behave when managing water doesn't really reflect that point. So this unit is really to take care of that and really drive a culture change when it comes to water management. To really think food security, to think water security, to think productivity at the household level. So instead of having a one use case for water or a one cycle use for water, we're saying you can recycle this water at a local level for as many times as technology can allow us, before we discard of it completely. So that's really the motivation around this. So saving on the water bill, saving on the little water that already we have. So this is very prominent in areas like in Bulawayo, where there is a chronic acute shortage of water. So we're saying the little that we get, perhaps use it 2 or 3 more times before you discard of it. So the idea here is to remodel the household plumbing system so that it just doesn't rush to, throw water into the septic tank. But they're saying take this to a recycling tank, which is what we have here. Then filter it, then reuse it again for secondary water. So it comes out as gray water. If you want to have it drinkable again, why not put up chlorine at the household level? So we can do all of that, at an extra cost.
Okay. So in terms of its components, maybe just take us through the product itself.
Yeah.
What kind of components does it have, especially if it's put together in a complete unit?
Yeah. So the idea is we kept in mind that electricity is also a big issue. So it's a solar-powered unit. So that's one unique element about it. Then definitely it is using, because I'm a minimalist myself, I believe in using the little that I have. So we're really looking at how we can make use of the cheaper, equipment that we have around there. So we're talking of your very entry-level drum, entry-level 1,000-liter tank, and then the plumbing equipment and accessories, and then the filtration process. So we are building all of this on our own. So what we really build is a filtration system. Then we plug in some of the already existing solutions that are out there. For extras, we can then put up a mini chlorine plant inside of that as well. So that's really the process and the equipment that we're utilizing. So like I say, the bottom line is to remodel the way the house plumbing is done. That's where our product is. That's where the culture change is when it comes to water management.
Okay. So if I open the tape, let's say maybe I'm bathing in the morning and the water goes to, so from the tap, for instance, where does the water go to? Does it go to a storage tank, and then it's processed from there.
Yeah, that's the idea. So if we were to remodel your house, it means that the water is going to a pre-recycling storage, and then it is recycled. Then we put it back into another recycled tank, so that it then throws back into the house.
So when it has been recycled, and you say it's now secondary use, what kind of uses are we talking about?
So I will start with the income generating projects. So you have your aquaponics, we have your normal garden irrigation, and then we also get a source of water for fish farming, which is aquaculture, and then the mundane kind of household use, which is washing laundry, dishes, flushing and bathing, cleaning the carpets and all of that stuff, car cleaning. Then it makes sense maybe to do car cleaning, using the secondary water, what we'd call grey water, rather than using fresh water to clean a vehicle. So that's the whole idea. And any other home industry that you can think of that utilizes water. Because I know as Zimbabweans, we have a lot of home industry-based projects that we are doing for income generation. Even chicken or poultry projects, it is suitable for that.
So is it readily available? And if you can disclose maybe the price at which people can purchase this unit?
So there's no one price fits all at the moment, because it really differs on the household size. But I'll describe the packages. So we have a 200-liter package at the moment and a 1,000-liter package. But what will differentiate the pricing is the length of your pipes to the mains and all of that, which is why we don't have a one price for that. But it is definitely going to be affordable for the value that it brings to a household, because already you are talking of cutting on costs on the water bill. We are also focusing on if there is water rationing that is happening, for example, in Bulawayo, where in some residential areas they get water for 3 days a week or 2 days a week. It means with this unit, you have stored water perhaps for the other 2 or 3 days of the 7 working days in a week. So that's the whole point, really, to bridge that gap by providing sustainable water, and more climate conscious solutions.
But then in conclusion, as a business person, what are some of the challenges that you're facing, especially in coming up with these products?
Yeah, the main issue here really is the culture. We have to have a culture of saving water. Just like we have culture of doing many other things. So it's a new culture, it's a new realization that the fellow citizens have to really remember that water is going to be more and more scarce as climate change comes. Then the other side, of course, is financial. So we need investment to make this affordable as possible. We would love to keep this locally manufactured so that we can create jobs. So it's really about the expertise, getting more people to work on this, and maybe the last mile kind of delivery cost as well. It costs a little bit more perhaps to go and do that in any other areas that are outside the city or outside of Bulawayo, Harare or Mtare or Masvingo. So the cost of delivery of that also becomes an issue. But generally, those are some of the challenges that we face here.